I've always had such a tight grip over my life. I've always wanted to know what my next steps are, my goals are, even planning my meals of the day in advance. And I found this to be helpful in my work and maintaining personal healthy habits. But over time, it became really draining. Monumental decision fatigue, really. It wasn't this exhaustion or feeling stuck that made me rethink this way of living, though. It was spending time with people who didn't live like this. Back in November, I became friends with some lovely people, and we've been hanging out a lot since. They're very different to those I've been close with in my adult life thus far. They take life slowly, don't stress about much, and play a lot. They're also calm, happy, positive, motivated, and kind. They didn't change me, but I did become a noticeably different person as I spent more and more time around them. I realized that this tight grip, this control I had over my life was just suppressing and limiting me, and that I didn't have to be living this way. I didn't have to try and be this perfect person with everything seemingly figured out, and I could still be a good person. So it was an intentional decision and a wonderfully natural conclusion that I surrendered. It might sound beautiful now, but it was incredibly scary for me at the time because it was completely out of my comfort zone and basically the opposite approach to how I had been approaching my life to date. And to be honest, while my observations with my friends opened my eyes, it was actually an oracle card that showed me what I needed to do. Releasing control doesn't mean floating aimlessly through life or an excuse to be lazy. It's recognizing how much of life is actually outside of our control and being okay with that, using it to our advantage. We don't have to have everything figured out, because even if we think we do, it doesn't mean it'll work out that way. It often doesn't. It doesn't mean that path will make us happy or be the best thing for us. And if we intensely stick to one path, we close ourselves off to so much. There's obviously a balance. It can be the best decision for you to close yourself off from other things in order to dedicate yourself fully to something. Surrendering isn't about the decisions you make in your life, but your attitude towards it. Being okay with what comes your way and looking at life through a lens of, what is this trying to teach me? How can I learn from this? It may be slightly ironic, but after some careful thought, I think this is how I learned to start to release some control. Accept that so little is in your control. All you can really control are your reactions and actions to whatever life throws at you. And I believe when you think about it, that's quite a blessing. Get outside and play games or do activities that make you feel free. When you play, nothing is perfect and you don't have the time or focus to think your way or overthink your way through the play. Release the ego, relax into the body, and just let your natural being take over. Have fun with it. And more importantly than simply surrendering to the greater world, playing is so much fun. Be open to anything and everything that comes your way. Opportunities, people, lessons. Easier said than done, far easier said than done, but trust that nothing that is meant for you will miss you. Be grateful for everything, not just the good. Gratitude is not just about being grateful for what is good in your life. It's being grateful for everything. Find ways that you can be grateful for the negative or the not so good things in your life. Like, I am grateful for running out of money, or that I am running out of money because this forces me to be intentional with how I spend it. It challenges me to be more creative with how I can make money. It gets me out of my comfort zone. It's teaching me lessons that I need to learn. Be grateful for it. Always come back to, I am learning from this experience. Spend time with those who bring out the best in you. The easiest and most enjoyable way to change your life is to find people and spend time with people where your desired behavior is the norm of those people. And then be careful with who you share your energy with. Not everyone is going to understand you or be the most positive influence on you. So decide the kinds of people that you want to mostly be surrounding yourself with, and then move in that direction. Shake up your usual routines just slightly. You don't have to completely overthrow your life, but part of surrendering and being open is leaning into different and being okay to shake things up a bit. An easy example for me is that for years, I have been going to my regular weekly markets at like the same time every single week. The alarm is always the same time. I arrive there at the same time. I then go around to the same kind of stalls because I know what I like. But something that I have been trying to do in the past few months is not be so tightly regimented with this endeavor and relax and enjoy the process of it more. I've been getting some more sleep, so I've been getting there a little bit later. I haven't been going with a shopping list because I want to see what looks good, what looks particularly good, and then create my meals from there, and not just go to the same stalls and take my time with it and just have it be a more relaxing and open to new and different experience. What I found with this way of living in general is that it's just made me more creative and excited and curious about every aspect of my life, from the big to these small, minute details. And finally, when things go wrong, smile. This might seem like my most hippie tip yet, but I just found myself doing it naturally anyway. When things go wrong, which they inevitably will, but also what is wrong? Is it just when something doesn't turn out the way we expected it to or maybe wanted it to? But regardless, things will go wrong more often probably than they go the way we hoped or anticipated they would. So what more is there to do than just smile? Release any frustration or negative thoughts and put some separation between what has happened and your reaction by exhaling, and then just smile to yourself. Tell yourself that it's okay and that it's part of the process. It's part of life. Spending time and speaking intimately with my friends helped me realize that I was ready to make a few really big changes in my life, which I will share in due course. Being in this uncertainty now is really challenging, but I have no choice but to release control and trust the process. I'm solely following my logic and intuition. When I have doubts, I remind myself that my intuition has never led me astray, and any negative things that have happened to me in the past have only contributed to the person that I am today. Surrendering doesn't mean you don't care about your future, that you're flaky or lazy. It means that you're wise enough to know that only your reactions and your actions are within your control, and that trying to maintain this illusion, this tight grip of control over your life is suffocating and fruitless, whereas surrendering to life is calming and freeing as